That was Roger and Zap. I want to be your man. Watching the impeachment proceedings is very difficult. It's very difficult to be admonished about the speed of an impeachment, to be admonished about the judiciousness of an impeachment by a group of men and women who impeached a man for getting a blowjob. We're going too fast. I'm pretty sure that an insurrection lasts a lot longer than a regular election. We are admonished by people who turn the other way. And there's this desire to have the sameness. They're comparing what they did right now in trying to overthrow the government with what Black Lives Matter did over the summer. Let's rehash this a bit. We, black people, take to the streets when justice is denied. When Breonna Taylor was murdered in her bed. We watched George Floyd's life be snuffed out of him for 9 minutes. And all we're asking for is our day in court, that they have justice, that they get to go to a courtroom. You took to the streets right now and tried to overthrow the government when you went to court 64 times. Breonna Taylor did not get her day in court yet. She was denied a day in court. You've gone 64 times and still are not happy with the results. We are not the same. We are not the same. How many times how many police officers do we have in our ranks secretly subverting government? How many members of military do we have in our ranks secretly subverting government? How many times at Black Lives Matter, how many members of them have been put on no-fly lists because they're a danger to the country? This didn't just happen in a vacuum. This man has stoked this kind of vitriol and anger and hatred since he's been here. We might recall when there was a man sending bombs to people because he thought Donald Trump wanted him to. A man went to a pizza place because he believed they were holding, it was a pedophile ring. Do you remember when militants went to they went to the border to stop this caravan of immigrants? Armed militants went to the border to stop these caravan of immigrants from coming to America. Do you remember that? Do you remember when this summer we had armed people trying to stop people from voting? We take to the streets because it is denied. You take to the streets because you don't like what happened. You lost. And you need to accept that. Right now, black people have taken to the street because we have watched our lives snuffed out with no one being brought to account for it. You rioted and brought guns to the state capitals because you couldn't get a haircut. And that was all stoked by him. All of it stoked by him. I guess being white means that you never have to apologize or take ownership of something. It seems like the only ownership you're ever proud of having is ours, our freedom. We are not the same. We cry for justice when our lives are taken and nobody be about to account for it. You cry when you don't get your way. How many times have we not got our way and we stormed the Capitol and shit all over the carpet or peed all over the carpet or beat a police officer to death with a fire extinguisher and you say nothing's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Don't rush to it. This has been coming since the day that man swore in office. It was him that during the debate said, stand back and stand by. And what has happened? He actioned those people, just like he did to stop us from going to the polls. He's tried to stop us from going to the polls. He tried to intimidate us. He tried to remove the polling places and places where we could vote, mailboxes, and still we won. We won. We ran it back and won. And you lost. And now you're angry. And now you can't even take the responsibility of your way. You did this. This man was actioned by you. And just like you before, you are turning your back to it. Because he gets to do what he wants. I guess the worst thing a white dude could say is he's sorry or take responsibility. Oh, he suffered enough. Didn't you hear this president give a speech after it was way too late? They tried to take over the Capitol. They tried to destroy a government because they didn't like the action. We are nothing like you. They're accusing one of my fraternity brothers, who's a police officer in Philadelphia, of being a part of a militant group. We want to uplift our people. We want to persevere. We want to lead them to scholarships. We want to lead. Our lamp burns to light the way. Your light burns on a cross to burn things down. We are nothing alike. That's a little note from the GED section. We got a jazz report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.